We're joined now by Fox News senior judicial analyst Judge Andrew Napolitano. Boy, the congressman gave us a lot to chew on there.
He did.
Can we start with this component of, and I want to go down to my notes because I was taking notes on them. You know, this pathway seems fairly clear legally. If you as a state are not doing what the federal law is, what happens?
All right, so there's two California statutes that Attorney General Sessions has targeted with this lawsuit. One is a law that says if you work for any government in California, state, county, or local, and you are asked in your work capacity to assist the federal government to round up undocumented persons, you may not cooperate. As long as that refusal to cooperate is a refusal to cooperate rather than an affirmative interference, the statute is probably constitutional.
What's the difference?
Well, an affirmative interference would violate a statute that prohibits harboring aliens. So
Isn't that what they're doing if they're calling this a sanctuary city or state?
No, harboring aliens means actually hiding them. So this mayor, if she did more than say, hey, they're coming, come to me and I'll keep you safe in the basement of the mayor's house, that would be a federal crime.
But if it causes it to happen, I'm sorry, I got you here, so I'm going to ask you every question I have in my brain. But if something that someone does causes you to then hide people, isn't the effect the same? I mean, doesn't the law look at it
similarly? The law is
similarly?
extremely reluctant to prosecute words, but it will prosecute the person who harbors the alien. That is an express statute that the federal government does prosecute.
All right, your second.
The second statute is really troublesome. This statute forbids private business owners. Let's say you own a clothing store, a bookshop, or a restaurant. ICE shows up and says, Ms. Faulkner, we're looking for some of these people. I want to show you pictures. Have you seen them? The statute prohibits you from answering ICE's questions.
Why?
In your own business, on your own property. That is blatantly unconstitutional because it's punishing speech. That statute, in my view, will be undone by Attorney General Sessions' lawsuit in a week. That's how profoundly unconstitutional it is. You cannot tell private people what they can say and what they can do with respect to aliens. You can tell your own employees, as the governor has done.
So I ask you why that would even be on the books. Why would California go there? And the answer is?
That the Democratic Party that runs California is so beholden to the immigrant rights groups, it is willing to trample on private property and personal speech in order to advance their own political causes.
Can we talk just now clearly? Because I mean, I get this from the congressman and we understand this. We are not talking about people who have not committed further crimes other than being here illegally. We're talking about those people who have so been identified that they endanger the rest of us.
Here's an example of who we're talking about without using any proper name. Somebody comes here on a visa, overstays it. They're here for 2 or 3 years beyond the visa. They commit a crime. They're arrested. They're put in jail. They're about to be bailed out. ICE says, this person that you just arrested for armed robbery, just giving you an example, this is a hypothetical, he's here illegally. If you tell us when he's made his bail, we'll save you from prosecuting him because we'll deport him the next day. California, we're not going to tell you. That's the classic example. He has been bailed out of a state court system. He hasn't yet been convicted, but he is free to roam the countryside here illegally and prone to commit another crime.
But some of these people have committed more egregious crimes.
Yes, of course.
And so the problem is that it becomes yet a slippery slope. Because what you give a scenario for may or may not endanger us, but we have some on a list that will.
Absolutely.
Real quickly, before I let you go, and I'm going to ask my team just to hang tight for a second, because I know they're pushing us to move on. You said California has done something that we haven't seen. What is it?
Shaking down ICE. Showing up. State officials, this is according to Attorney General Sessions' speech this morning, showing up at ICE facilities, demanding to see ICE records and demanding to know when these ICE raids are going to happen. I haven't heard of that happening in American history since before the Civil War.
Judge Andrew Napolitano, thank you for stopping by the mezzanine
Pleasure
today.
to work with you. It always is, Harris.
God bless. Just days after a series of bizarre interviews where he hit back at the Robert Mueller probe, now former Trump aide Sam Nunberg, remember him, had a bit of a meltdown, says he's ready to talk to the House Intelligence Committee. Congressman Peter King is going to join me and have reaction to that. How would that conversation go? And what haven't we heard? President Trump is facing a growing battle over his proposed tariffs after his top economic advisor Gary Cohn resigned. So what's the impact of Cohn's departure? And what would the tariffs mean truly for our economy? We'll take a look. Stay close.
The European Union has not treated us well. And it's been a very, very unfair trade situation. I'm here to protect, and one of the reasons I was elected is I'm protecting our workers, I'm protecting our companies, and I'm not going to let that happen.